Good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C, this week's Friday edition. In which we're going to continue trying to figure out this project generation stuff. So, at the end of yesterday, I was sort of thinking of how to. I was kind of struggling over how to do this, and I think I was conceptualizing build index incorrectly. I was thinking that this was analogous to HTML to buffers, in the sense I was thinking that the only thing that build index should do is build an index, basically. In the same way that HTML to buffers, it sort of builds the HTML from the HTML files we pass into it. I was thinking that the build index would also do a similar thing, that all it would do is produce like the HTML version of the index, and the HTML version would just be, it's basically going to be this this little definition list here, so a DL, DT, and then the closing DL. And then this stuff here was just sort of test stuff, right? So really, this stuff here should be the responsibility of buffers to HTML, right? I think I'm right saying this anyway. I think I was the only one who's going to do it well. Oh, welcome to the stream, Zelerosco. I hope your haircut last night went well. So yeah, I was conceptualizing them to be similar, but they're not really. Like build index actually does more than HTML to buffers, because this guy is responsible for figuring out like the entire project's worth of files. Like if we go into here, there should be like a directory. Should be a bit where it iterates over a directory. At least I hope there is. Build index. Indexed file. Really? Okay, so I've thought about this wrong then, have I? Well, hold on. Who's looping over the directory? Oh right, it's main, is it? It's got a small mohawk. Wow, okay. Awesome. Oh, I see. So, yeah, I was thinking about this. I was still thinking about this in the wrong way. So this routine here is like the refresh project routine. Like I sort of feel like this bit here should be a function. It should just loop over the thing and refresh the direction, refresh the project. So I think let's do that. I think just so I'm a bit more clear as to what this thing is doing. I'm just gonna put refresh project. Oh. What if shouldn't there be an else? Oh, it's there, is it? Right. So I think if I just pull all this stuff, yeah, that looks reasonable. Oops. Right, refresh project. So it needs to take the config. It needs to take the memory arena. Probably needs to take a point to the arena as well. I wonder if the config needs to be taken as a point as well. We'll see. And then the collation buffers. Okay. Right. And then this guy called build index, so refresh. And then build index. So it wants to take the two templates. Okay, this sounds reasonable. So let's make him do that. And the metadata. Oh wait, what is index template? Is that a buffer? I think that is a buffer actually. Yeah. Oops. So these are buffers. And then we've got the templates. Get expected to point to a star. Template rather. Okay. Yeah, I seem to remember that being the case. And the player templates is undeclared. Player templates. Project template. Right. So index template and right. Player templates. And player template. Oh, I called it print template metadata. Okay. I sort of feel like this is being taken the wrong way. So, right, this is refresh project, so this person shouldn't have anything to do with the single edition, right? Okay. So where was that if? It was there, wasn't it? Okay, so if it's Product Edition, then we do that stuff we call refresh project with whatever stuff it takes. Otherwise, we know we're in single edition, so we can say if opt-in is equal to the argc, we bail, right? Okay, I think that's reasonable. And then we loop over them. And then here we have an if out there. Oh right, this is just to free the guys. Okay. And then we declaim. Right, yes, that seems okay. So, what does this guy take? It's the memory arena. Pointer to. It takes the collation buffers, the index templates, the index template metadata, which I think we pass like this. Play templates. And then find the config. Now let's just have a quick look through refresh project to see if it needs to affect the config. I'd like to just lay these out a bit more nicely. Well, hang on. Arena. Collision buffers, never got the index template. Okay, I think that'll do. So, config. So we just read from the config there. Again, we're reading from the config. And then here we're passing it through to HTML to buffers. Okay. I wonder if... I'm pretty sure HTML to buffers doesn't affect the config. Yeah, it doesn't. So where were we? Public HTML. Build index. See if this affects the config. Just reads from it. Reads from it. Again, it just passes that through to post HTML. Okay, yeah, so that doesn't affect the config either, which is cool. And then buffers to HTML. Okay. That seems fair enough to me. So we are passing the stuff through correctly. So this guy is just refresh projects. And essentially what this is doing is looping over the directory for a project. Right, isn't it? Where's the index file involved in any of this? It's not involved in it. That's interesting. Hang on a minute. I guess the directory is just looping over the directory. It's looping over the directory, just finding files that have .html at the end of them. It's constructing the output path, or the output directory. Yeah, the output path from that as well. Hang on a minute. This seems like not what I wanted to be doing. Because like at a high level, what I want this to do I want it to loop over the. I want it to loop over the HTML files, testing to see if they are in the index. If not, insert that file name into the index. Insert that file name into the index. Regenerate the index.html page and generate a player page for that file. I think that sounds reasonable. And if they're already in the index, do nothing for now until we implement sort of I don't know, some sort of checking whether it's the same file. Unless we implement comparison checking, sort of check some ink, I guess. Because at the moment, what this is doing is for each HTML file, it's just straight up making a new directory for it. So to be clear, it'll create, for the first one, it'll create this directory, risky 001. And then it calls HTML to buffers, passing the D name to that function. Build index. Actually, this shouldn't be too difficult, should it? Like, it's really, while we go through the project name is project name. If the string's enough with HTML, if that, the first thing we need to do is to search the index, right? Is that right? Well, it's well, actually, what does the index even look like? Ah, right, so it's just Riskio 001, okay. So really it's here, isn't it? Search the index file. Oh, we've got the index file from the config, haven't we? Oh, hang on a minute. Wouldn't I just call build index at that point? Yeah, like this portion here is searching the index. And if found is equal to false, then we build it. Yeah, if found is false, we build it. Otherwise we do nothing, apparently. We just return 0. But if we find the thing, then we copy that thing in. Okay, so I could be going completely insane here. We could build index up here. And also build index is not really exactly what it's doing, is it? It's sort of, again, this is like refreshing the index. Because essentially it's like, it's searching it, and if there's something to do, then it does it. Otherwise it doesn't. So let's just rename this to refresh index. I think that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't, but for now it does. So we call refresh index. Ah, hang on a minute. We only need to do this then if refresh index returns the fact that it did actually do anything. So this needs to return 1 for error. load return 0. Okay, so let's just say that let's just say that it should return -1 on error. Bool found is equal to false. Found is equal to true. So then just make it return found. Mind you, I guess if it's found, want it to return 0 because it's done nothing. Otherwise return 1. Really? Bool found is equal to false. Is there? Yeah, it's like if we didn't refresh, then we need to do all this stuff. Well, hold on, if we did refresh, then we do this stuff. Oh God, where was that? Probably just here, wasn't it? Let's start. I want to get an enum for return code to return code refreshed. Let's go for success maybe. Refreshed and did nothing or something. And then here, what? Oh, I'll need to put that higher up. If it was found, then we did nothing. Otherwise, what was it? Refreshed, I'll see nothing, yeah. What's it complaining about? Output path is now. Okay. So here we go. Buffers to HTML. We've called refresh index, right? If we've refreshed the index, well, let's say and what function are we in here? Refresh project, right? This will probably want to return some sort of activity as well, I guess. But let's just leave it for now and just get this thing working. If refresh index refreshed, we create the directory for it. We perform HTML to buffers. On the HTML file that we found in the directory. Oh crap, hang on a minute. Refresh index needs to take the base file name. Where's it getting that from? Ah, okay, yeah, it has got it. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, that is fine. If it's found something, then it needs to make a directory for it. Call HTML to buffers. And then it needs to generate the index page, and it needs to generate the player page for it. So refresh index does that, doesn't it? Refresh index automatically builds up the index. Yeah, it does. It does this DT stuff. Ah, but then it does also call buffers HTML. This guy is buffers HTML. I sort of feel like rather than having this person do that, I also like how this is even happening. Like, there's this buffers HTML call here, and then it goes ahead and actually produces an HTML page itself. Right? Which isn't correct. I wouldn't have thought. Contents page. What is the contents page exactly? Oh, right. So that's the index page path. And where's that coming from? So that was passed to, that's probably passed in by, well, maybe not. Yeah, okay, so I feel like I should make the other person, the refresh project person, set the index page path. And then call buffers to HTML, passing it the index page stuff. Oops. Right. And I think buffers to HTML also does need to take which type it's doing. So it's like page index. Sorry. Well, let's just put that here and then. Right, page project, page index. The reason for this being that if we're not integrating buffers to HTML, we'll have to do something different depending on whether it's a product or the index page. Who is this? This is refresh index. Index path. Where is that again? Right, yeah, it shouldn't do any of this stuff. Right, this stuff should be done by buffers to HTML. Yeah, in fact, buffers to HTML itself will have stuff. It'll have code that I can just copy over. It's not project, is it? It's player. Did I call it project again? Yeah, god damn it. It's not the project, it's the player. Right. So buffers to HTML then gets called on the index page. Hopefully this will be okay. So you build the index and then build the player page. Okay. So we're passing the correct template, passing the correct metadata. And then if I go into buffers to HTML, if we're integrating and do all this stuff should be out of here, because either way, whatever we're integrating with it, we're being passed the correct we're being passed the template that should be the correct one. Right, so this goes away. Otherwise, right, we want to say if the page type, I mean, we could sort of switch on it, honestly. We could switch on it. So yeah, either way. So we're going to do HTML to head. We don't necessarily want the includes player. We do want the head and body. And we do want the body in HTML. Sorry, master. Either way, we want to copy the head and body, and then we want to say if page type is player, we do these guys. Otherwise, we copy the index. And I guess either way we do a new line, maybe? Maybe we don't care. And then finally we copy into buffer master body HTML and write the stuff out. Didn't I correct that? Oh. So, unless I'm going completely bonkers, if I remove this index and then run our program, this should hopefully produce the correct stuff. So that looks okay. 2117, yeah, so that did just build. So that didn't build the right stuff, okay. Why not? Is the question of the day. Mode is set to, yeah, mode is integrate. And where are we? Buff station, yeah. So we did get the guy, this thing down here. So this one only output the actual player, which is correct. Whereas yesterday, for some reason, it was outputting the player and then the index below it. Now we're getting that same thing here. We're getting the index below the player. But this is the incorrect path. It is writing out to the correct location. Am I passing it the wrong thing? I'm probably passing the wrong. What do you call it? The wrong output path. Because it does take the output path. And then this person here, when it calls sorry, when refresh project calls it index path page, so it is passing that correctly. What exactly is the index template? Like, oh, of course. Hang on, I'm going to have to disambiguate that from this is what we want. Oops. What's that? HMH annotate. No such file directory, HML to HTML. Oh, we're in the wrong directory now. Bloody hell. Okay, so it didn't try and create the index. Where is this is what we want? We're just not seeing that, are we? That's interesting, isn't it? Did I build it? This is what we want. Template index. So it includes the title and the include in the index. So it should just say the title, the include, which we don't really care about, honestly. But I think I kept it in there just so we can see the relative paths. This should just be the table of contents heroes and heroines. Is that even in here? No, it's not. Yeah, of course, so it's using the wrong... I don't understand how it's using the wrong template. It's using the wrong template because it's getting awesome content from somewhere. But then it's like popping this down at the end of it. Includes player. Collation buffers includes player. So there should be an includes index, shouldn't there? There should be that at least. which isn't what that is. Can't believe I'm almost at the end of the album. I'm going for an hour. Okay. So that has done something. Let's just change the path. So these guys are still okay. Ah. But now we're getting a bit of this. Which I don't understand in the slightest. This is random comments. How does this affect it, if at all? It's probably in the template, isn't it? Yeah. Which kind of begs the question, like, if the index changes at all, should we just go ahead and regenerate everyone? In case they include the index. let's avoid that question for now, I think. But yeah, at least now this is just outputting the player as expected. Unfortunately, this is still outputting, it's still using the same templates. I've got the wrong paths though. So this is the correct path. Well, I mean, this doesn't matter because we don't have any images that we need on the index page yet. So the main issue here is that we're just using the wrong template. But we are passing the index template. This function does nothing with the index templates, does it? No, it doesn't. Or probably the index template metadata. No. Which is fine, isn't it? Because it literally just needs to loop over the index. Seeing if our base file name person is in the index. Yeah. Refresh product does take the index template and the index template metadata. We are passing index templates. First 256 characters of the template. Okay. So let's remove the index. And just to make these a bit more easy to tell what they actually are. Index template. we're only ever looking at the player template. For some reason. We're never seeing the player index, the index template. Yeah, we're never seeing that. So why is that? Buffer template. Where did the buffers get loaded in? Sorry, where do the templates get loaded in? They'll get loaded in by validate template, won't they? Just do the first 60, because I think that should tell me what it is. So yeah, the index template is being validated. Sorry. No, we don't know that, do we? Just because there's too many files, it's just not, just doesn't have to think. Ah. Yeah, it just didn't have the space. So it doesn't say validating for some reason. Which is unexpected. Did I build it? It's possible I didn't even build it. Right, yeah, validate. So this is the validating part of it. And then this is the rest of the stuff. Yeah. Right. So here we go. Validating player template. It's only ever validating the player templates. Right. Config. Oh, Jesus. Template. Yeah, right. Here we go. It doesn't know which one we want to validate. I am so far as 2017. I like how it's just the year now. Oh, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't actually the quote, was it? It was it was a handcrafted a Zilla quote, wasn't it? So yeah, we are being passed the buffer, so it knows which buffer to put it into, but it doesn't know. It doesn't know which template to load, does it? It's just like this, basically. If page type is equal to page player, then we load that. Otherwise, we do that. Page plate. Ah. Oh, sorry. Right. If what? If page type is equal to. Oh, have I just not? Yeah, the enum's down there again. So here we go. We first of all want to validate the player, and then validate the index. Right. So that's okay, isn't it, actually? This is fine. This should just be the table of contents, heroes and heroines. Because this is the index. This isn't correct at all. Why is it saying that? Cinera title. Interesting. I wonder why it's got Pure and Utter Insanity Drystone as the title. I guess it's just left over in there from something. I guess. And there we have it. This is Risky 002. Where is... What did I click on? Mystery unboxing. Where is 001? Like... I click on mystery unboxing, but I get to getting the high five working. So something is something is off by one there. Gosh, of all the things that I thought, of all the things you could get off by one, this is not one of the ones I would have expected. Buffers to HTML, isn't it? There was this, wasn't there? Like, I moved that to there. Does that make any difference at all? Probably doesn't, but let's see. No. Yeah. So let's put that back there. By the way, Zillow, you were saying like yesterday that you had no idea of what the code base looks like. I'm kind of hoping that once this is working, I'll just do a little walkthrough of all 3,000 lines, just to give a bit of a basic idea as to what's going on. So the issue here, the index page is getting the correct title. It's getting the correct title, but the incorrect number. File index is 0. So if a file matches HTML, we get the base file name for it. That's true, yeah, you could do that. 3,292 and 1 column. Although this will be completely different actually to this, because I think was begin refactor the last thing I committed. Generate a full, maybe not. Generate a full project. Really? So I was already doing that on the 29th, was I? Yeah, I think the only thing in the repo is going to be this commit here, I think. Begin refactor last one. Yeah. Right, so yeah, I haven't pushed this. what files have I got in here? So I do have risky001, although it doesn't mean anything, does it? Because this whole directory was already existing. Let's just see if I can move test directory to test directory backup and then try and regenerate. Ah. Yeah, right. So I've got the wrong logic for the includes guy, haven't I? Yeah, of course I still haven't got validate template actually figuring out the validity of the different things. Has that done anything? No. Is that just see some there? Okay. So here's validate template. What happens? It returns 1. Well, just to remove that part of the problem, let's just pass F to force it. Oh, wow. Blimey. Jesus. Direct leak of that. Validate template. 1287. So we'll never free the errors. How did I hit that earlier? If we don't, hang on. If we don't have errors and we found everyone, free the errors location, else if we're not if we're not forcing integration, so that passes. Test directory still has nothing in it. Is that just because we still have the index? I wonder. Yes, possibly. Right. All right. Finally. Jesus. Yeah, and again, it's only pointing to the second guy. We are making this fail. So we are producing risky 001. And there it is. The issue is that the index page is pointed to the wrong one. Excuse me. Yeah, I think GitLab is resource heavy, which I believe prevents us from like letting everybody have a GitLab account, as I understand it. And also they've had like some issues, haven't they, recently, GitLab? Like security issues. So I think those are basically the reasons, really. It's the resource heaviness, and I think we're factoring in the like the GitLab in the news stuff as well. But I don't know. I don't actually. I don't actually get involved in much of that, honestly. And Gitty in particular was a recommendation of Martin's. I think Gogs was the original idea. I think we're thinking of using. Can I find this? Gogs. Is it VCS? What do you call them? Yeah, version control system. Git or Gogs. Yeah, so Gogs was the thing. Gogs.io. Don't think Martins has ever been wrong. Certainly Martins Mosaico has never been wrong, no. Yeah. I mean, technically, it's like. Hang on. How do I do this? Handmade network. Handmade. Is it M? Like, how do I do this? Might as well, it's always right. There you go. The full version. He's got the hairstyle for it as well. Being a Spanish covert agent. So yeah, that's still pointing to 2 for some reason. We've got the correct file. The correct title, rather. Shouldn't there be 2 things here? Like, oh sorry, yeah, indexed file. And then the title. So where is indexed file coming from? Because that's what we're dealing with here. Indexed file, risky 2. If we haven't found... Ah, hang on. Entry counts. Is that the problem? That might have nothing to do with it though. So there's mystery unboxing. Yeah, risky 2 is still it's still going to there. Hang on, just double check. Yeah. Wait. If I just vim the index. Ah. So the index itself is getting off by 1. Collection buffer's title is evidently empty. Wait a minute. Ah, interesting. So we do get that. So the actual unpacking is happening correctly, I think, but the indexing is incorrect. Like, for example, if I were to... Gosh, can I do this? If I were to do that, and remove the second guy, I predict it's going to append 002 to the bottom. Yeah. And then the index file itself gets mystery unboxing. Yeah, mystery unboxing 1. So this is correctly linking to this person. Getting the i5 1 working points to 3, which is what we'd expect. And then down at the bottom, we can have dry stone, which is there, but 2 doesn't have anything in it. So what we need to do in the refresh thingamajig thingy, in the refresh project guy, before doing refresh index, we need to call HTML to buffers. Ah, right. Yeah, so because that'll populate the title. So I think we're back to the same situation as we were before, where basically HTML to buffers happens first, and then the build index sort of stuff happens. Wait, where was I doing that? I was doing it down there. Refresh index. Well, I mean, let's just try it. If it works, then it works, doesn't it? So there's mystery unboxing pointing to 1. Getting the i5 working, what pointing to 2. Yeah. Okay, so this is now correct. And it is just the table of contents, heroes and heroines. So yeah, the unfortunate thing there is that we're actually kind of executing a extremely long function before we can even check if we've already got it in the database, which is kind of unfortunate. I suppose technically I needn't necessarily do that. I could just have a quick function that just says, it just parses the HTML because if you see here, HTML to buffers, one of the first things that this does will be copying the title from the HTML into the collation buffers, and it's this person that also calls HTML parse file. So if you see here, we're on line 1457. The end of this function is line 2772. So that's like a 1313 line function, which if you have a fear of the number 13, is probably like the worst length of a function you could possibly imagine, I guess. But yeah, it's going through this entire function just because we didn't have the we didn't have the title. But I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter, does it? If you think, because all we're talking about here is speeding up the thing, really. But it takes that long to do that for a directory. So yeah, it is working. Right, we've established that, haven't we? And if we don't integrate it with a template, it will be at some point, actually, yeah. But it will, yeah. Because I want one thread to be sort of sitting there waiting for like new stuff to come in, basically. And then another thread to pick up the actual generation. Oh, and it's also going to have to serve up the search stuff, isn't it? Which I've got no idea. I can still, that's what I should be doing, honestly. But I still haven't got any idea how I'm going to do that. But yeah, if we don't integrate, we end up with this, which looks fine, and this, which also looks fine. Yeah, so that's working okay. Double check that we've got the correct path. Oh, it's not integrating, is it? Oh, we didn't care about it integrating. Let's just so that doesn't do the same problem. Is the search going to be JS like the current HTML? Which one is? I mean, the vague idea, right, is that this this index file is going to end up containing all of the information that we actually need in order to do a search. So whatever the JS guy has to do, because the JS one has to build its own index, doesn't it? Like when you go to when you do it's when you go here, results will stream in as soon as they are available. So this is magically for generating an index file, isn't it? So basically, whatever this is generating, I'm going to make this file contain all that stuff on the server. But it'll also have to have some additional stuff for the topics and the media, so that it can do filtering as well. Yeah, exactly. Do the search server side. So yeah, I mean, I guess roughly we'd have an index file on the server, we start to type something in here, and then I guess my program is sitting there waiting for people to search for something, and then we look up into the index file and spit out the results, I guess. I guess that's how it'd work. But I'll totally be relying on a shit ton of help, honestly. You know, from folks like you, Asaf. Hopefully Pseudonym will be around as well, because he does stuff. Well, it's him who mentioned the inverted index, wasn't it? And I've still got that page open, actually. Right. So this is quite a short page. CGI. Ah, you've done that for the quotes. Ah, fantastic. So, would it make sense then for this actual program itself to be there sitting on the server and doing this stuff, or is it more like, I don't know, like for plain CGI, the program gets run for the request and then exits. So the search would probably be so binary. Ah, right, okay. Interesting. There is also a thing called fast CGI, isn't there? Interesting interactive with a website, right? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, but I mean that's roughly like what I've been thinking would happen with the search. Is your code for the searching of the quotes online? Okay, cool. I'll probably have a good look through this, if you don't mind. Just to give myself a clearer picture as to what actually has to go on. Yeah, why not? Plus plus as well. So, yeah, this is working, right? Like, we're comfortable this is working. It's a little bit inefficient, but I mean, it's fast enough for our purposes. The one thing we still haven't done is correct validation of the stuff. So, yeah, the adventure continues. We still need to do all these return codes as well. Hang on, was it crashing as well, or was it just failing because it was saying it was invalid? Right. So yeah, it's only failing because of that. We should test how big the index file gets. At the moment, all the annotation files of HMH combined are around 800 kilobit gzip. A proper index file should be more optimal than that. And if it's small enough, we can provide a better experience used by the client side. Proper index file should be more. Yeah. But these by doing it client side. Ah, interesting. Huh. So really what we're aiming to do is produce an optimal index file, or rather produce a proper index file. The only problem is the initial loading, which is pretty terrible in the current version. Right, interesting. Yeah, I mean, this file is literally just to get me started. And like, for example, like I wouldn't have this entire string in the index file. I would just say, I'll just have like an int to indicate the ID or whatever. Well, I hope I would anyway. But then, yeah, I just have all the the stuff, like all of the annotation content, in here somehow as well. Will the index file store searchable words along with the file paths then? That's a good question. I was thinking that it would do. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, like I haven't really managed to find any what's going on here? Why is this? Oh, I've still got the index. Yeah, I still haven't really managed to learn how to produce an index file, honestly. You're saying there would be a file specifically for the search page. Would it be a generic index file? Right. Yeah. Yes, that makes sense to me. I think I was thinking the same thing. When as far as I was thinking of search inverted index. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is what I'm sort of meaning as well. I should disambiguate between like index and contents page, because like this page here, like this episode guide page, I don't anticipate actually just listing the episodes. I anticipate this to be essentially like a search result of the entire project, but the way that we present that information is by showing just the title, and then as you, I mean, we'd have to totally work this out, but as you kind of like type something in here, it would narrow down the search. So it would sort of break out the it would basically do what this guy's doing here. So say like if this whole list, this column here, was the original index list, as you start to search for something, it just removes people who don't match. And also, if there's only a subset of the episode that contains that search pattern, then it will break out those individual annotations. But I was sort of thinking that if all of them match, then it would just kind of compress them all into one thing somehow. But as I say, this is something that we'd have to work on, how it actually all work, how it all operate. Did it probably if there be less than that. Yeah. Well, hopefully, yeah. In JavaScript. Right. I see. Oh, interesting. Right. So CGI doesn't come into it then? Because we're not doing the search. Our main job is just to write the index file. Had to set on a server because round trips to the server can sometimes be longer than a download. Okay. Yeah, which is a bit of a bummer actually, because that'll mean I mean I do need to do this totally anyway, but I'll have to port it to FreeBSD if I want to do that. Because that's what my server runs on. Unless somebody else has got a test server that I could just use. Yeah. Having one minute for that, but then having to do round trips might not be as automatics. I see. Round trips to the server can take longer than a download, right? So hang on. Searching locally before I go to the server for each query. So rather so you got the minimal file. Do round trips. So okay. So the alternative would be downloading. I guess we'll get deep into this stuff probably next month. Well, this month actually. But I definitely have food for thought there. Before we can leave this whole thing to, before we can put this stuff to bed though, we do need to correctly validate the templates. Correctly validate them, and then like pull out that validity when we come to actually integrating them. And I think that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do the next time. Next time will be next time validating the stuff, and we must sort out these return codes as well. Oh, and we also need to insert into the index. So insertion sort into the index. So here we go. We can tick off some stuff, can't we? Template packing, change validate template to encode the template in such a way that integration can happen without needing to seek through the template car by car. We do that. There is actually one thing I've thought about with this, is that I could add another int to the validate template, and then when we come to depart the comment, so there are going to be, it's all these guys, isn't it? This is going to be in build thingamajig, isn't it? Buffers to you. Well, no, this is validate template. Where's the other one? Depart comment templates. Yeah, this is build template, isn't it? Buffers to HTML. So yeah, here. Well, it's only the one thing, isn't it? What I was going to say was, rather than making this have to depart comments, I can just sort of encode the length of that comment. But maybe there's no point, honestly. Yeah, let's not bother. I mean, it's something it's in the back of my mind, but let's consider that done for now. Write out the contents DL into a collision buffers index to conditionally integrate with this template. Yeah, we've done that. Well, we haven't insertion sorted into the index. Straight out the template looping we have, and figure out how to claim buffer for arbitrary structs. We haven't done that. So we have straightened out the template looping. Okay. So yeah, I still need to insertion sort into the index. I still need to figure out how to claim buffer for arbitrary structs. And I also now need to correctly validate the goddamn template. So we don't need to force the integration. And we need to do the return codes. May call on new functions. Return same codes. Right. So those are the things. Which should be pretty straightforward, I think. But I mean, I think I always say that, and stuff comes up to bite on the ass. And then, yeah, so those are the things, and then after doing all this, I think I do want to do the config stuff before we start on searching. Because once I've got config, I'll be able to sort of run the program on multiple projects worth of stuff, and it just saved me having to do this thing manually all the time. I mean, it's not a massive big deal, and I could also alias this, obviously, but the config stuff is something that we need to have. So I think that's what I'll do. Config, and then searching. Building an awesome index. So yeah, I think that is all for now. Been going for 2 hours and almost 20 seconds. So yes, I am going to call it here. Go and get dinner, and then play Absolver. So thank you very much, Heroes and Heroines, for being here, for being there, for being everywhere, and for being absolutely fantastically awesome. And inspiring, and beautiful. So, until the next time, I'll be punching some dudes, and wishing you a very fond farewell for now.